Purpose of this game with the group we played was to gain experience, and I think we did gain experience for some of our youngsters. We wanted to see what these guys had, what they're made of, and you know, for some of these guys, it was the first time wearing the uniform and first time playing in front of you know, the Timbers Army. And you know, we need to prepare to win games now, but we also need to move our group forward with the guys that might come off the bench, with the guys that might be future Timbers, guys that we will hopefully count on to win games in the future. And this was a great opportunity for us to accomplish just that with the group that we played. And disappointed in the first half a little bit. I thought we were on the back foot, and we're a little more tentative than I would have liked, and took us a half to kind of settle in and realize that, you know, we could have a chance to win the game and could play with FC Dallas. They started the game with their first group, and in the end, I didn't think they were a ton better in the first half. Obviously, scored a set piece. They didn't have a lot of chances. They had some set pieces. They scored a set piece to beat us. That's disappointing. Third of goals are scored typically on set pieces, and we need to do a better job in those moments. We can't expect to win games at this level when we lose marks. And you know, something we worked on in training, we'll continue to work on. And again, that's why you have the preseason to kind of work those kinks out. And we swallow a bitter pill and lose in a moment, and because of that, we lost the game. And we probably lost the game because of the first half being a little more tentative than it should have been. Second half was much better, and you know, it's too bad we couldn't pull the goal back because we had some great moments. And if we play 90 minutes like we did that second half, then I'm feeling good about our chances of getting a result in that game. But for us to be that close with the group that we played, I think is a positive, and there were a lot of positives individually. I was very pleased with some of our young players, the mentality they showed. And you find out a lot about your team when you put guys in this situation where there's a bit more pressure. You can speculate what these guys are going to bring in training, but you never really know until you put them in a game. And I saw a lot of positives out of some of our youngsters, and it gives me great hope moving forward with regards to what they can bring to the table for this team, whether it's coming off the bench this year or whether it's you know, starting, you know, or maybe it's just the following year being a guy that's playing minutes. And so, you know, Jose Valencia in particular, I thought he really was a bright spot in both halves, actually. He was one of the few guys in that first half that really looked like he was up for it, and you know, created some problems. And you know, he's got a lot to learn, but you know, I've been pushing him and trying to, you know, really get him to buy into the fact that to make it, it's more than just talent. He's got a ton of talent, but to make it, he's got to have a work rate, and he has to have an intensity, and he has to do a lot of the little things that it takes to win games. But I saw today a lot of positives with him in particular that gives me great hope moving forward that he can be a guy that helps us. And there were others as well. Some of the guys that have played minutes in this club, and you can see why they have, because you know, they were up for it. And there were some others that weren't. And so these are things we see, and they'll certainly impact our decisions moving forward. And you know, we need to see these things going into the season to know what we have, to know when we get in a game where, you know, we need more. We know who now can bring more. We know who might not bring more. And so it helps us moving forward understand the type of team we have and what individuals can help us.
Coach, what now becomes the mindset for the final preseason game of the year?
It's the same mindset it would have been.
Wait, I mean, in terms of who you play and how many minutes you play, what are you going to anticipate doing on Saturday?
Well, we went into the week with a clear plan. We were going to play our first guys in the first and third games, and we were going to play you know, kind of a second group. Now, there's some guys in that second group that will start games this year, and it can change. Next week it could be different than this week. But based on where we're at right now, you know, we had planned to play a group on on Sunday, play a group on Wednesday that didn't play as much or didn't play at all, and then we were going to go into the final game on Saturday and put our best foot forward with a group that we felt could win the game. And you know, it's going to be a group that's probably pretty close to the group we're going to play on March 3rd against the New York Red Bull, give or take a few players. Obviously, final decisions will be made next week. And like I said, there were some players tonight that will certainly be in the mix to be in that game on March 3rd.
Coach, can you give us your evaluations of Ben Zemaski and Frederick Picayune?
I thought Ben was okay. You know, he's still getting his legs. He was out for a couple weeks prior to coming here. He had a back, and he didn't train for 10 days. So, you know, he's still getting his legs underneath him. You can tell he's a bit off in terms of the rhythm, but he settled in more and more as the game went on. And, you know, I think you saw pretty much what he brings to the table. He's a battler, you know, and he's going to, for 90 minutes, give everything he has. You know, there are going to be some moments where, you know, he's sloppy like there was tonight, but in the end, he's going to get around and he's going to make an impact. But you know, he's capable of better, and he'll bring more once he settles in. Picayune, I thought, was very effective in the air, especially flicking balls on. You know, and you could see his quality. He had a few chances, I thought, where he, you know, was close to scoring the goal, but yeah, I thought he had a solid performance.
Do you anticipate him seeing minutes on Saturday as well to get better all the way?
I don't know. I don't know. We'll make that decision as we get closer.
Coach, have you determined who's going to wear the captain's armband March 3rd?
No. Yeah.
Is Saturday going to go into that decision at all?
Yeah. Obviously.
Sal at outside back, was that partially just filling out the lineup and getting him some more minutes, or what was going on there?
I wanted to, you know, we wanted to try him there to see if he can bring some depth in that position. I thought he did okay. Actually, I thought he did well. You know, he's athletic. Obviously, he can go box to box, and in our system, we get our outside backs forward. You know, I thought he did pretty well. He didn't get beat much, and you know, he hasn't played that position a whole lot. So he could be a guy that we do use, I think, in that position. So that's a part of again, the purpose of playing this game is to see where we're at on depth. Look at some guys maybe in some different positions. Give some of our young guys a chance to play and give them a good experience. You know, and they gain a lot from this game. They gain a lot, and we found out a lot. So there's nothing but positives that come from this, and we're disappointed we didn't get a result. But ultimately, you know, preseason game, that wasn't the primary purpose. We're always going to want to win, and when you get in the game and you get that close, you know, you're disappointed when you don't win. But you know, as I reflect on this game, you know, with some of the youngsters we played, and the lack of experience we had out there, for us to be as close as we were, I think is a real positive.
Based on the preseason so far, where do you see the areas for improvement that you're going to be looking at this next game?
Well, certainly if you're looking at Sunday, we want to be tighter defensively. But it's interesting, when you watch the tape, which I have several times, we didn't give up a whole lot of chances against San Jose. So, you know, you look at the result, we gave up 3 goals, and you think you were really poor defensively. And trust me, there were some moments that were poor, but if you look at all of the chances that San Jose had, they really didn't have a bunch. They didn't break us down a ton. You know, we made some critical mistakes. Obviously, you know, a couple giveaways in the back where we were casual or sloppy in the build-up, which led to counterattacks. You know, we gave PK obviously in a set piece, but they didn't break us down a ton. They didn't get you know, it wasn't like we were exposed as much as you might think looking at a 3-3 score. But in the end, we made mistakes that cost us the game, just like we did tonight. So, you know, I think we want to be a little bit cleaner, sharper, and less critical mistakes defensively, I think, is the biggest thing, while continuing to create the goals that we did. So, but that will be an emphasis going into this game, is we want to be tight defensively and try to get a clean sheet.
Let's go one more for Caleb, please.
Piquion, was he a one-game look, or what's your plan for him?
I don't know. I don't know. We'll make that decision here moving forward. Yeah.
Thanks, everyone. Locker room's open.